Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV for what is an impromptu and unfortunately very sad episode, and one that I can't quite believe I'm actually doing. It's been about an hour or just over since the news broke, and ever since I heard it, I've toyed with the idea of whether I should produce this video as some sort of tribute to our former manager, Justin Edinburgh, who tragically, it has been confirmed, has passed away today, aged just 49. It seems, looking at social media and the reports coming out of what was his current football club, Leyton Orient, who he magically guided to promotion back to the football season as recently as about 6 weeks ago, are saying that on Monday he was unfortunately taken into hospital, and it's now become clear that he'd suffered a cardiac arrest, one which tragically he's never recovered from. Justin, as a footballer, was a combative left back who started out at his local club, Southend United, in the late 1980s, before getting a move to Tottenham Hotspur, who were then in what was the old First Division. And I think in his first season or so, he won the FA Cup in 1991 under the tutelage of Terry Venables as Spurs beat Nottingham Forest at Wembley. Later on in his career, he moved to Portsmouth before ending up at Billericay, and it was there that Justin took his first tentative steps into football management, and he was appointed their player manager in about 2003. From there, he worked his way up through the pyramid, starting right at the bottom, right in the muck and nettles of non-league football. From Billericay, he went to Fisher Athletic, and there he moved on to Grays Athletic before taking up a post at Rushden and Diamonds, who unfortunately went out of business, I think, while Justin was in charge. After that, he then moved on to Newport County, who were in non-league at the time, and he guided them to promotion back to the Football League via the playoffs at Wembley. Before the call came from our chairman, Paul Scally, winter 2015, and he was appointed in the February, took over from the Gang of Four who'd been holding the fort after the departure of Peter Taylor. First impressions of him were that he was going to play good football. He wanted to get us on the front foot. And he wanted us to be decent on the eye. And I think we were. I think we won our first few games under Edinburgh. And from what looked like being a really tricky relegation battle in the February when he arrived, we ended up finishing comfortably in mid-table in 12th. I think there was at one point even whispers of the playoffs, although that never really materialised because lots of teams did have games in hand around us. But what Justin brought back to the football club was belief. He made it enjoyable to go and watch us again because I think the football club had stagnated under Peter Taylor. He got us playing the right way on the deck. And then, of course, 2015-16, which unfortunately turned out to be his solitary full season in charge of the club, was one where he created an atmosphere, created an ethos, and he created a side that dared us to dream again. He brought in a lot of young players. He trusted the youngsters. He got them in the first team, and in a exuberant, energetic diamond formation, I don't think we lost at home until December of that season, and that was in no small part due to the fact that we'd had a player sent off. We took on all comers. Sheffield United were massive in that league at the time, and we swatted them aside 4-0 first game of the season at the Priestfield. There were so many more memories that season. I mean, and throughout his reign, we went to Millwall and won 3-1 and 3-0. We went to Swindon away twice and beat them in their own backyard. We had that magical League Cup run where we saw off Watford at Vicarage Road in extra time. Again, a young side that ended up with players like Darren Oldacre finishing the game and finishing the game well, and excuse me, that again was testament to Justin and his belief that if you were good enough, you were old enough. And none of us will forget September 2016 when Gills were drawn to go to White Hart Lane and play Justin's team, Tottenham Hotspur. And I think for us as fans, regardless of the result, looking back now, it was a privilege to go there to White Hart Lane in its final season. And it was a wonderful day out at a proper football stadium. So you can only imagine how proud Justin must have been, how proud his family must have been. His son Charlie, very vocal on Twitter and social media, very proud of his old man and what he's achieved in the game. The result didn't go our way that night, but it put Gills back on the map. We was in the national press for all the right reasons, and I think at Christmas we were dreaming big. We weren't just thinking, let's get high. We were thinking as high as we can in the League One table. We were thinking we can win the title. And we've said plenty of times that it was probably the game at Wigan in the January when we threw away a 2-goal lead that saw things start to sadly unravel. And then we ended up with key injuries to key players at key times, and the season fizzled out somewhat, but we finished 9th. And I think it's testament to Justin and his staff and his coaching ability that 9th was the lowest position we occupied all season, and it didn't quite end out as we'd all dreamed, and I'm sure Justin had dreamed, because for 2/3 of that season we were bloody brilliant. And like I say, he got us playing the right way. He got us on the edge of our seats. He got us winning football matches, and he allowed us to dream at the big time again, which was the Championship for a club the size of Gillingham. Unfortunately, we all know it didn't quite work out the following season, and despite bringing in a raft of names, he left us in January 2017 and we were 17th or 18th in the table, and he then ended up at Northampton, and it didn't work for him there. He was sacked after only a few months, I think, in charge. But credit to Justin, and I think this shows more about him as a man than it does as a football manager or as a football coach and anything else. He went back into non-league to a club that was on its arse at the time, let's be honest, Leyton Orient. They'd gone through years of mismanagement and poor ownership and lack of direction, and he settled them down in his first campaign. And then, and I follow a few Leyton Orient fans on Twitter, and it's a proper football club. It's a football club that deserves to be in the Football League. And they got back there at the end of this season, in no small part to Justin Edinburgh and his team. And just reading the tweets from Leyton Orient fans as the season come to its climax, and I watched the FA Trophy final, which they lost to AFC Fylde, but it didn't detract from a wonderful season, and that was due to Justin Edinburgh. And unfortunately, tragically and sadly, he's not going to have his chance now to pit his wits in the Football League again. Just a really, really sad day for football. And I know there's obviously fans of all these other clubs: Portsmouth, Spurs, Southend, Billericay, Fisher, Grays, Rushden, Newport, Northampton, and obviously Leyton Orient that are going to have their own memories and are going to be hurting at his passing today. But like I say, if there's one thing that us Gills fans, I think, took away from that 2 years, it was that we fell in love with our football club again, and we dared to dream again. And that was in no small part down to you, Justin Edinburgh. We try and provide strength or whatever for his wife Kerry and his children Charlie and Sydney, who must be, if us football fans are feeling like this, then it's probably unimaginable what they're going through right now. But I felt I had to do something and pay tribute to Justin Edinburgh, the man, and Justin Edinburgh, the football manager. The footballing community and the world would probably be a worse place. Till next time, up the Jewels.